Tonight we're going to be showing you how to make old-fashioned tacos. Now, these are going to sound really weird when I start to explain them to you, but trust me, just hang on to the end because they're actually really good. This is a recipe that my dad's side of the family taught me how to make, and at first I thought it was this weird Midwest thing, but then actually nobody can figure out who taught my aunt how to originally make these, whether it was somebody in Miami or Arizona, whatever. It doesn't explain where they came from, but trust me, they're really good. It's basically a tortilla that's cooked with ground beef directly on it, and then it's topped with coleslaw, ketchup, hot sauce, and a couple different types of cheeses. And then you just kind of wrap it together and eat it like a taco. So that's old-fashioned tacos. Anyway, they're really good, but we've seen a bunch of people that have been making something similar to that lately, either like smash burger style or even like with like a Korean beef kind of flavoring. So anyway, we'll show you this and then you can see if there's, you know, different variation of it you want to try out. The first step is we're gonna make our coleslaw. Now, coleslaw, you can buy store-bought coleslaw if you want, if you have a particular brand you like, or if you're just short on time. Personally, I find it's just as easy to make it from scratch at home. The coleslaw dressing is basically just 3 ingredients. It's mayonnaise, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And we're just gonna eyeball that, mix it together, just so that we get like a nice kind of dressing consistency. That way we make sure it coats all the pieces of the cabbage. So for the actual cabbage for the coleslaw, I find it's actually easier just to buy a head of green cabbage for a couple reasons. So one, it's actually just cheaper than buying a bag of pre-cut cabbage. The other reason is I'm just not a fan of bagged salads that much. So when they're cut and then bagged, it just has more of a chance to introduce other harmful bacteria. And I know that they clean it, but then I feel like that's all I can taste is what they cleaned it with. So anyway, we're just gonna take a head of cabbage and I'm just gonna chop some of it up and put it into the bowl, and we'll just keep adding until we've got the right consistency. So you can see I didn't use much of the cabbage, but you know, hang on to it. There's plenty of other things you can use it for. If you have backyard chickens at home, give them this. They will absolutely love you for it. We used to do this all the time. We'd like hang a screw through it, hang it up for them. It's like a game. They play with it all day. The next thing we're gonna add is actually just a little bit of onion, just to the coleslaw, just to kind of spice it up a little bit. All right, I'm just gonna add a little bit of this. Maybe like that much to the whole thing, just to add a little bit of spice, and we'll keep the rest for just another recipe we can put on some eggs, omelets, whatever. So that's it. We're just gonna put this in the fridge to rest. Now we're ready to get the actual tortillas ready to go to start cooking. But first, I just want to show this tray that we found the other day. So you've probably seen it before, but we had a sheet pan that I used to use when we were prepping things. But I went to go like serve some appetizers on it the other day to some neighbors, and I was like, it doesn't look pretty, and then it also doesn't fit in the oven. So it's like, it doesn't even work as a sheet pan. So then we happened to be at Williams and Sonoma the other day, and it's usually very easy to go to stores and not buy anything because we have no need for it. But we came across this and it was super nice. So it's like, I thought it was 2 trays, but it's actually one kind of nice tray that you can use for serving, and then the other one has slots in it. So the idea is like prep something, take it out to the grill or whatever, rest it on this so some of the juices can drain, and then, you know, this is nice enough we can serve, you know, appetizers or other meals on it. So it takes up the same amount of space, but it's actually going to be a lot more practical for us, and it just looks a little bit nicer. So what we're going to do is lay out a couple tortillas, if I can get this packet open. So we're doing yellow corn tortillas. It's not for you, bud. And we're just gonna lay these out, and then we are going to take a little bit of ground beef and apply it directly here. And it sounds weird, but yes, you're taking raw ground beef and you're gonna smear it out on here, because then we're gonna cook it on that. We did 80-20. Definitely recommend something that has some fat in it because we want those fatty juices to be released into the pan so that when we actually cook it, that helps brown the bottom of it. If you've ever made burrito before, it's similar kind of concept. Like all the meat and the juices actually help cook, like crust up the tortilla. Now that we've got these all pressed out, we just season with a little bit of salt and pepper and we are ready to cook them. These are fine to cook inside or outside. They're actually great if you have a Blackstone or a griddle top. It's perfect for that. We're staying by a lake right now, and so it's actually kind of buggy outside this time of day, so we're gonna cook them inside. One thing I'll say is if you cook them inside, open your windows, open some doors, turn on a fan because they are going to get smoky and you don't necessarily need everything you own to smell like them. But the way to cook them is we are going to put them into the pan, tortilla side down first, and wait till you see a little bit of the juices drain out, and then we will flip them over and cook them meat side down. Once they're done, we're going to take them out and we're going to put them on a tray with some paper towels just to help absorb some of that extra grease. And then once we've got a few of them done, we'll go ahead and get them topped. So we've got these all cooked and we are ready to plate them. You can plate these flat, however, we just happen to have little taco holders which come in handy. So I'm just going to go ahead and transfer these over. The shell, the outside of it is nice and crispy. I probably could have done a better job of getting the meat pushed all the way to the very edges. That way when it shrinks, you're not left with as much space. But we're going to go ahead and top it with some of the coleslaw. Follow it up with some of the ketchup and hot sauce. We're just using some Tabasco, but you can use Cholula. And then we're going to hit it with some of the Mexican cheese and some grated Parmesan. All right, I'm hungry. Check out how these taste. I need more napkins, I think. It's really good. I still can't think of how to describe it. Picture like, I don't know, everything you'd have at a barbecue, like a hamburger, and then you just throw like your coleslaw and your ketchup on top of it. I don't know, but it just works. Trust me. But yeah, you can do these a couple different variations. So maybe if you have another way that you've seen them done, drop a link. If I find some other ones that seem good, I'll share them too. But if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe.